As you all know, communication is a two-way street, right? It enables us to send, receive information, especially in today's world. We just not communicate in one or two ways, right? We do it in lots of ways, over text, calls, videos, all these video conferencing. So it's very important that we demonstrate a strong communication skill, right? Be it a professional or a personal life. Communication helps us to build strong relationships, share information and present ideas. And also communication helps us to work in groups effectively. Diego, should I start recording? Or is it already started? Okay.
Thank you.
So effective verbal communication, we have like lots of different, we communicate verbally, non-verbally, right? As we saw in the previous session. So we have verbal communication where we communicate using words, like, and also it would be in a written or to be oral, right? Sometimes we might communicate using our body language, right? Which is a non-verbal communication using like our eye contact, hand gestures to convey a message or an emotion, right? So today, what we would be seeing is some of the strategies that you can use, the best practices when we communicate verbally or non-verbally. Okay, we're going to see some of those and how you can put that to practice. Maybe we'll do a role play. So I'm going to play a video for you. What you will be noticing in this video is, as you watch this video, see how she is expressing, okay? How she is expressing her thoughts and feelings, okay? How she communicates.
Denise,
And Anton.
Denise had a question?
Yeah, not question, just to say just one thing about
yes,
about
definitely, go ahead.
Effective communication helps to transfer the information in appropriate manner to the receiver.
Yes, definitely, especially when we work in groups, it's very important that we communicate effectively, right? So that we all stay on the same page and we all know what to do to achieve a common goal. Great. Thank you. Now, when it comes to verbal and non-verbal, what do you think that would be very important for your role in the future as a junior cloud practitioner? Do you think both those are very important as we communicate?
Nonverbal is going to be really important because we use a lot of nonverbal tools to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So figuring out your tone that comes across in text and chat and everything is really important to maintain relationships in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true. Thank you, Tamra. Because the ability to communicate, it can influence the trust and also the confidence, right? Even between your peers and with the stakeholders as we communicate. So it's definitely effective. It has to be effective, and that's very important. So as we see, we'll see about few, sorry about this. So what is verbal communication?
facial expression and tone would be nonverbal.
Yeah, I asked verbal. Viviane, I asked what is verbal communication?
Okay, I jumped ahead of verbal communication will be the words that we use and how we express the words that we're using to communicate.
Yeah. So is sign language a verbal communication?
No.
Oh. It's sign language is very animated. So, you know, use your hands, use a lot of your facial expressions. So it's a combination of two. So I'm not sure what category to put it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like it is categorized in verbal communication. Okay. So even the words that we use in the sign language, all that are used to convey a particular message. So all that comes into a verbal communication. So what's the purpose of verbal communication?
I'd say the purpose of verbal communication is to exchange ideas.
Yes, to exchange ideas that is understood by the recipient, right? So what do you think are some of the examples of written communication?
Written communication could be in the form of emails, letters, just notes, even just a sticky note left on the work fridge. Could be form of it.
Yeah, all the letters that we send, exactly. Thank you, Jonathan and Philip. And then, what are the examples of oral communication?
Sound.
Okay. Yeah, all that we speak, right? Over the phone, telephones, all that talking that we do now, right?
Yeah.
So all that are oral communications.
It's music.
So what are different channels or the platforms used for verbal communication?
Email or a paper, written paper, like a physical paper, or email or text message.
Audio, video.
Phone, or sitting with in front of a person. Yeah. Yeah, what else? Yes, a Zoom call, right?
Yes.
All these video conferencing, everything is verbal. So what is non-verbal communication? Now we move to non-verbal. What is non-verbal now?
So
yes, Viviane, go ahead. Yeah.
As I mentioned before, it would be facial expressions and will be nonverbal.
Yeah, all these hand gestures, eye contact. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. So how do you think we can all demonstrate active listening?
Looking at a person at their eyes.
Yes. And nodding like this, like me. If you're answering, right?
By being able to reciprocate exactly what they were saying after listening to what you just heard.
Yeah, like haha, yes, right? I mean, not exactly, yes. Yeah, but at least, yeah.
Nodding heads too, like saying,
yes. So how can a person's body posture indicate a message or emotion? I think I get it. How would you go and sit in the interview?
Confidence.
With confidence, right? With your posture straight, with arms comfortably to the side, right? Definitely no slouching, no crossed arms. So all that creates that negative impression, right? So we try to be so positive, confident. Can someone read me the next question? Help me out, please. Read this question.
How can different facial expressions represent a message or emotion?
Yes. Can these facial expressions represent a message? How they can?
Sure, a smile can be warm and inviting. It can be
okay. Yes.
A frown can scare someone away, or just like you would do with your kids, just give them the the look, and they know to calm down immediately. So yeah, you can. Your face speaks.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Thank you, Antoine. So even your anger, sadness, joy, we express everything, right, in our face. How do you all feel today?
Good. Smiling.
Good. Okay.
Happy.
Good. Okay. So how do you think our voice can indicate a message or emotion?
If your voice is really high pitched, it could be that you're nervous. If it's lower, it could be that you're more confident in the situation.
Okay.
The
Good.
speed of your voice, if you're talking.
Thank
really
you, Ricardo. What is it, Ahashi?
The speed of your voice, like if you're talking really fast, you could possibly be nervous, or
Okay.
if you're talking slow, you can be kind of uninterested in something.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
volume
definitely.
of your voice
Okay.
also.
Sorry, what is that, Elizabeth?
Oh, the volume of your voice. So if you're speaking
Volume
really
of-
loudly, it could be
Yes,
that you're
yes.
upset
Yeah,
or
you could be, yeah, they could be angry or excited or as well, right? Sometimes they are so loud. Yes, Sylvia, you have something to say?
When somebody is talking very not loudly, it can mean that it's not confident enough.
When they're speaking, what?
When somebody is speaking not loudly enough,
Okay, not loudly enough. Okay,
so it's not enough
they're not
self-confidence.
confident. Okay, yes. So how should we all be talking? No answer? Yes, Helen?
Really in a calm, relaxed manner, not
Yeah, sure.
high pitch,
Yes.
not low pitch, just a neutral business tone, but not being forceful or aggressive.
Okay, great.
Also
Thank
on
you.
eye contact.
Eye contact, yes. Definitely, when you even on a video or when you do one-on-one, eye contact, definitely. What's the difference between oral and written? See this, okay. I just want to share some of the best practices when it comes to oral communication. Always, as Shawan said, speak clearly, confidently, and also sometimes we have to, as we communicate, it's just not one way, right? So we have to confirm our times if the other person also understands, right? Have to check for understanding, always keep checking. Okay, if they are there, if they are able to follow, right? So, and when it comes to written communication, definitely make check all the grammar, spellings. If we have to use bullets anywhere, do that so that we can clearly put in our message in there. We can, so that we can highlight, and also if there is any anything new information, definitely take notes. And what else? What are the best practices that you can do for effective oral and written communication? So when you write a message, mail, sorry?
Proper grammar.
Yeah, proper grammar, definitely. Yeah, try to use all the Grammarly if you want to. If you're going to have a documentation done, if you want to check for it, okay. So use appropriate language, which is concise and accurate. It's not that we just keep on talking or write pages and pages of mails and emails, right? Nobody's going to understand. Nobody have time to read all that. So always also make sure as you take care of your grammar and also explaining things clearly, it has to be concise and accurate as well, right? And also very important is personalizing the message. Now, why do you think a strong oral and written communication is important for everyone?
You want to sound confident so people will trust you.
Sorry?
That you want to sound confident so people will trust you.
Okay.
A lot of the times in the form of working like administrating the cloud or administrating any kind of technical services for a company, you're explaining things to people that aren't as well versed in the content as you are. So being able to properly convey and communicate different concepts and technologies is a really effective way to gain trust by them.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jonathan. We always interact with clients, with colleagues, right? So definitely we have to ensure, as Jonathan said, if you are conveying the ideas, if it's understood also by the diverse set of people, it's not people from just one geographical location, right? So we have people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life. So we have to make sure that we convey it properly and have to make sure that it's understood as well. When do you think we all would use oral communication? When would we use oral communication?
In the office.
Okay.
Say in case you're having you guys are in a group and you're doing a project.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have to talk about it and find solution.
Okay. Is that Helen?
Yes.
Hey, Helen, I'm not able to see you clearly. Can you just adjust your lighting? Thank you for participating. Yes, I think it would be better now. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good to see you all, right? So it's good that I know we are doing evening classes, but it would be better if you have proper lighting. Thank you. Yes, we speak to clients, right? We on the phone, or we speak to colleagues, supervisors, video conferencing. So all that we use is oral communication. One second, something weird. So we all saw that video, right? Where she got her award and she gave her speech, acceptance speech. What are the best practices that she demonstrated during her speech?
She smiled a lot.
Smiled a lot. Okay.
Yeah, she made, like, when she gets up, she makes sure to hug the person next to her. She starts listing people one by one and constantly reminds them how grateful she is of them for helping her get to this opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. She showed all the best things that can she do when she did that, right? All the right things that she should do by also like speaking clearly, also confidently, and using the appropriate language, like usage of words. She was concise, she was accurate. Okay, can you all see the screen? Okay, sometime I missed this, 1 second. Can you all see this? So looks like it's an email from the support team. Okay. So what I want you to do is read this email, and then let's try to answer a few of these questions here. Take some 30 seconds, okay? And read through these questions and get prepared, then we'll talk. Okay. So what are the best practices? Some of the best practices that we went through, or those are demonstrated in this email? Anyone? Anything that you see here?
The support team is giving a reference number so they can follow up after.
Great, yeah.
And so they say that there's somebody will follow up after that. And for the last one, I think they didn't write any name, or they just say hi. So I will say, hi, Mr. or Miss.
Definitely, they should have personalized it, right? Definitely, yeah.
And perhaps I will put, I don't know if the company allow me to put my name on. So at least they know who is sending the name.
Yes, probably, yes, definitely. And also they could have put in time frame as well, right? When somebody would call, or when it would be resolved, something like that as well, to be even more specific.
Right.
And
also,
great. Yeah, great points. Yes, Viviane. Yeah.
Someone will address your issue soon. Maybe a team member will address your issue.
Yes.
Be a little bit more professional.
Yeah, not someone.
Yes, definitely. Great. Yes, Sylvia.
I have a question. How this email should looks when I don't know when what problem is and how much time we will need for it. Like when I'm just junior and it looks like a complicated problem, and it depends when the senior expert will have time for it. How this can be written.
Well, you can definitely let them know exactly what you just stated, which was that you're going to be escalating it to the power of being telecom or whoever is that specialist in that area. And I understand you do not have a time of when it will be fixed. You can, though, give them a time frame of expectation of when that specialist will be reaching out to them to be able to continue troubleshooting. So there is obviously certain key information that you must provide so like that they're not just stuck in the air trying to figure out what's going to happen and when.
Thank you, Diego. Diego, so was that only me? When Sylvia speaks, I get that echo or something. It's not so clear.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me.
Can I say something, please?
Okay, thank you. Hey, Sylvia, can you check your mic or your audio settings? Something is a little weird.
It's most likely the gain level on her mic. She just needs to turn the gain level down.
Okay. Thank you, Matthew. Sylvia, can you take care of that?
I'm sorry, something is wrong with my sound still?
Yeah.
Yeah, your mic is very high, so it creates an echo.
I put it on the half. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yes,
better, yes.
perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't know.
Okay. So as I said, we'll watch this video again, but from a different perspective. One second. I'm going to send the handout for the group activity. I think. Okay, you all see this? This is the, I'll be sending out the link for the handout. Okay, read all these directions. There's a video to watch, and then you have an email, just like we did now. And then you see all these best practices here. You have a checklist here. So you go through this and do this part 1 and part 2, and then you have the role play to do for the part 3. Okay. You have the instructions, and if you have to make any notes, go to file and make a copy. Okay. So that way you will have access to this if you want to edit it. So what you will be doing is, so you'll be analyzing those examples for both the oral and the written communication using the checklist, that's the best practice checklist. Okay. The video will display the oral communication, and there's a transcript of an email that will provide the written communication example. Okay. I'm going to put you all in groups of 3 or 4, depending on how many are here. Okay. As I create, what you'll be doing is, as I assign, you'll be definitely click on the link and open the link before you move to the breakout room and read through those scenarios and do the activity. The part 1, part 2, and part 3 is the role play. Okay. So you watch the video for 2 minutes and then discuss any best practices that you observed, and then you do for the 2 minutes you read the email, and then you read the best practices. Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, can somebody, this time to check for understanding. Can somebody tell me what we will be doing in the breakout room? What's the activity?
I can go.
Yes, Helena.
I think we need to watch the video, then discuss the best practice, what we observe from the video, then read the email. Then we have to discuss a best practice from the email too. But before we leave to the breakout room, we make sure we open the link.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. And for how long? Probably I'll give you 12 minutes to do that. Okay, so 12 minutes. Okay, after I send you to the breakout room.
Hey, Subha. So do we have to do the odd part 1, 2, and 3 in 12 minutes? Because part 1 is about like a verbal communication, I believe, written and oral, and the part 2 is for nonverbal, and the part 3 we have to play some role play in the groups. So you think that we will do all of those activities in 12 minutes? Because
So the video is for 2 minutes, and then you discuss for 2 minutes about the best practices that you observed, and then you read the email, right? And then you discuss all those 2 minutes.
so that's like 8 minutes for part 1, right?
Yes. 1 second. Chad, you have the same sheet, is it? Same handout?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing the part 3?
Do you see slide 22 from body language?
Yes, yes. Right, you're doing the part 3, right? The role plays one. Okay, we'll do for 10 minutes, okay? As after I push you to the breakout room, we'll do for 10 minutes just the part 1 alone. Sorry about the confusion.
So
I didn't realize that
basically,
there's one hand.
Yeah, sorry, basically 2 slides from this.
What is it, 2 slides from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where you start, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that there's only one handout for both the activities that we'll be doing later.
Okay.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, hey, thank you. Who was that? Kamran? Sikandar? Somebody brought this up, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was a good catch. Yes, you do just the part 1, okay? For 10 minutes. Okay, I'm opening the rooms. Any questions? Just the part 1, okay? Everyone, just part 1, because part 2 and part 3, it's about the non-verbal, and you'll be doing the role plays at the end, not now.
We just restarted the recording. Everyone's here.
Okay.
Sending us the links.
Hey all, welcome back. You'll got a chance to see the video, discuss, brainstorm the best practices, verbal communication. Okay. Can someone help me out by reading this first question, first bullet point?
I can help with that.
Yes, thank you. Always.
How did the character Shrek apply best practices for oral communication? What could he have done better?
Yes. Can someone tell me what's the best practices that he followed, and someone else can say about the improvements?
When he was speaking, he was communicating with props, and a lot of times that does help for people who are more visual. So he was able to get his message across not only with his words, but with the visual, with the onion.
Okay, great. So he was communicating it clearly, right? Yes. So he was applying some of those best practices that we learned. Great. So thank you, Ashley. Anyone else? Anything that you could have done better? Any improvements? There's always room for improvements, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Shrek should have explained it way better, like for the donkey when he had a question, and he should have been more patient in explaining the situations. Yes.
Yeah, especially the language choices. Donkey did not understand much, right? He could have confirmed if he's understanding better.
Yes.
Yes, great. So how do you think the donkey character apply best practices for oral communication? And again, any improvements?
He was asking many questions when he didn't understand.
Okay.
I think it was good.
Yes, definitely. He was always checking, right? If he's right, or if this is what they are saying and all that. Great. That's good. That's good to know that you all understood this session better than that confirms. So when we come to the email part, right? So what are the best practices, some of the best practices that were followed in the email? Someone else who have not answered at all. So is there only 4, 5?
Can I say something?
Handful of people? Yes.
Okay. So based on the email, I think it wasn't an email that's put out of an auto reply. There was a proper greeting. Details were up there, and phone numbers and all of that stuff. Letting the customer know that we know exactly what you have bought. We know when it's going to come. We know when it's your address. Congratulations to the customer also. So it was very solemn, very detailed, and I think all the best practices were observed.
Exactly. Thank you, Oman. And even your response was very detailed. Thanks for that. And with this, we are done with oral communication on all those best practices and techniques. Now I'll hand it over to Chad for the upcoming slides, which is nonverbal communication.
Great.
Chad, so I'll stop this.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you all.
My screen?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remind you all that nonverbal communication, when people use their body language, eye contact, hand gestures, etc., to convey a message or emotions. Now anyone can answer this. I'll mute your mic when necessary. What do you remember about how body language is used in nonverbal communication from the previous section? Anyone?
Body language can convey how you're feeling without using words.
Yeah, most definitely.
It could also show that you're attentive to whatever the speaker is saying or the message you're trying to convey.
Most definitely. In this section, you all will learn 4 techniques that implement best practices for nonverbal communication. What do you remember about how body language is used in nonverbal communication?
Making eye contact, facing the person that you're speaking to, not slouching, not crossing your arms.
Okay, most definitely.
So let me interrupt there on that part. We are correct in reference to the eye contact when it's coming to US, although there is parts of the world that actually eye contact would be considered like a threat or disrespect. So yes, depending on who you're talking to and where they come, we need to be also attentive to that when it comes to those types of non-verbal communications. Even a thumbs up or the okay, believe it or not, can be offensive in certain countries.
Most definitely. Different meanings, so body language is important. So we're gonna go to our first technique. Our first technique 1 is body language, we just talked about. Positive body language refers to an alert posture, forward facing, facial expression, eye contact. Eye contact helps improve interpersonal relationship and better identify the need of others. Obviously, that can be a bit hard in Zoom. How some of your interviews may be through Zoom, but try your best to look at the camera as best you can, not the actual person, so that you can kind of feel like they have that eye contact. Facial expression is relaxed and friendly, right? Posture is alert and attentive. Face can lean toward the speaker, demonstrates interest, right? So if I'm up straight, sitting in my chair, looking straight at you, you will assume I have my full attention. If I'm over here, just slouched, just really relaxing, do y'all think I really care about what we're really talking about? Yeah, no.
No.
I didn't realize that was a question.
Yeah, that was a question.
I really wasn't paying attention, sorry.
Yeah.
So if you weren't looking at the person and you were sort of slouching, that would tell me that you're not really paying attention and you're not interested in the conversation.
Yeah, most definitely. Right. So there are telltale ways that we can kind of tell whether you're listening or not. Right. So we're gonna go ahead and go on to technique number 2, which is expansive mindset. Expansive mindset refers to imagining that our own presence is sufficient to fill space around us. Again, straight posture gives you more energy, allows you to voice to reach its maximum potential and convey the best impression. Sitting or standing in a pose that is open and expansive reflects that we give value to our presence and have confidence in our abilities. Body image denotes confidence and professionalism. Taking the space with a wider stance, using tall and straight posture by lifting your head and neck. So yeah, again, interview opportunity as well. Looking down, looking everywhere around except at the anywhere. You know, maybe you're shy or nervous. That's not a good thing. They won't think of you as confident in any way. I'm gonna move on to the next technique. Next technique is expressive voice. The tone of your voice can say a lot. Tone of voice is used when communicating with others, can add expression, color, and texture to words. If the message is appropriate and use a voice tone that indicates understanding and kindness, it will generate trust in customers. Voice volume is appropriate to the situation. So you're not screaming like a football coach in an office setting, right? It's appropriate to the situation. It's not too loud, not too soft. The rate of speech is at a speed that you are understood. That's one I have trouble with, to be honest. Because sometimes I'm really excited about something. I might go a lot faster than what is needed. I do that with I did that with some of my technology interviews. It was like I was so excited about the technologies that they were asking me. I kind of just sped through my explanation and talked really, really fast. I'm like, all right, understand you. Okay, calm down. All right. Let's go step by step. So that's one I really still kind of working on, to be honest. What's fine, right? We already said that. Voice tone, most definitely. Avoid being monotone. That can be a bit difficult, right? Have some range in your voice while you're talking. Have some inflections. Does everyone know what being monotone is? Yes, that was a question.
Yes.
Yes. So no talking.
Speaking like a robot,
the
basically.
Same.
Just in one tone, not going up or down.
Yeah, basically just going exactly like this. And just at the same tone all the time. This will put me to sleep. And I probably won't care what you're talking about, even though it's probably a very interesting subject, right?
Definitely.
All right, technique number 4, active listening. Active listening is a technique that involves nonverbal and also some verbal communication skills. An active listener is fully engaged, attentive, and better able to understand the speaker's message. Active listening will help you be more effective at work and improve your performance and prevent misunderstandings. Active listening nonverbal indicators. Avoid distractions directly at speaker. Literally what we've been saying. Don't interrupt the speaker. Nod your head. Small in agreement. Small stuff like and yes, yeah. Don't do it too often because it'll seem like you're not doing it at all. So constantly just going, yeah, yeah, right. Gotcha. I feel like you're really not. I feel like you're just really not listening to me and just constantly agreeing with me. So every so often, just to let the person know, like, yeah, I definitely get exactly what you're saying. If they're explaining stuff to you or such and such, are very good indicators, right? Active listening for verbal indicators, paraphrasing what you heard, ask questions to clarify, summarize what was said, be honest, candid, and kind. So again, what we kind of just said, with the being honest part and being kind, right? Ask questions to clarify. So if they have any questions about the conversation, paraphrase what you heard, just to make sure you got it. This cannot only be used in the conversation. Maybe your boss is giving you instruction. Having everything that they told you and saying it back can not only help yourself and make sure you got it, that tells you that your boss knows that you got it as well, because you just said it right back to him. That's not at all a bad thing. Okay. So this is the best supporting actress video, which we've saw before, but I think y'all pretty much had that memorized. So y'all want to go ahead and just tell me what are some of the nonverbal cues, or do we have to go and watch the video again?
Just in the beginning, receiving the prize. Everybody remember?
We can see it again. Let's see it again.
Yeah,
no,
do y'all remember? I'm sorry?
Before you watch, I can say something.
Okay.
Oh, so y'all want to see it again?
No. Before I watch it, I can memorize some. Her nonverbal communication technique. It have echo. No one.
Yeah, it's whatnot. I'm sorry, it's a bit hard to hear you.
Even when I hear you, I have an echo, everyone. I don't know if it's only.
Even me
Give me
too.
1 minute.
There's something echoing.
I'll fix this real quick.
Mute yourself for a second.
What I can remember from the video, like she has a nonverbal communication through the message. So I can go ahead and memorize a little bit.
Okay.
What was the question, right? What was the question?
The question was if you remember any of the nonverbal be good or bad that she had on the video.
I can remember the good one. I don't see the bad one.
Okay.
So
what were some of the good ones?
The nonverbal, she was smiling. She was emotional. So she tried to show that the happy crying too. And she was very, very touched by the people who were supporting her. So she would like to thank you. And she was like having eye contact for everyone that, she mentioned the name, she having like the eye contact with them too.
So you would say that the message matched her facial and hand cues. It wasn't out of whack. In other words, she wasn't looking at the people and saying, thank you, kind of thing. And she was matching it. She was really feeling it and felt real at all times. Didn't feel like if she was like, really thank everybody that was here and really helped me out. And she was really emotional. And like you said, instead of just maybe just staring at the camera, she actually looked for everyone inside the room and attempted to obviously express her feelings to them. Thank you. So I guess, does anybody know any of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Her body language and whatever she's saying, it matches perfectly to me.
Does anyone remember any of the nonverbal maybe that she had were negative?
Right.
Did you say that she
Sorry
didn't
about
have any?
Sorry about that. My laptop started freezing. So no other stuff. Do we have to watch the video again?
No, I don't think so. But I think we got the gist of the two things, which was the verbal and nonverbal itself. We saw that it did match what she was saying matched, and she was expressing her feelings, and like you said, talking directly towards the persons that she was expressing it to.
Yeah.
You're still echoing, by the way.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 minute.
Have to be on that phone.
So just to skip what we had in the video, right? Some of the stuff she was doing in the video from previous videos that y'all saw before. She was smiling, stood tall, right, looking directly at the audience. She conveyed her thoughts pretty good with her voice, very expressive. Again, smiling throughout the show. Faced the audience, stood tall and proud. Is that safe to say? What she did during the video that y'all previously saw?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do an activity. It will be in the handout that Suba gave y'all from previous. So this will be part 2 of it. I'm going to give you an opportunity to analyze some examples of communication for implementation of best practices and nonverbal communication. There'll be groups of 4. And I'll put the videos that you're going to be watching in chat. It's 2 videos. Each one should be about 2 minutes. The second video, you're going to actually have a start time.
but you're gonna watch both videos. You're gonna use the checklist to analyze best practices for nonverbal communication. That should take about 10 minutes, 30 seconds, maybe 11. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those videos in chat really quick. While I'm doing that, does anyone have any questions on what we're about to do?
Did, but to get her point across or what she wanted, she had to match his energy.
Right, the
Like she
female
had to
character I had.
engage and animated with him. But at first
Most
she
definitely.
wasn't.
Most definitely. Like the female character starts with no eye contact, then gets visibly bored, then later exaggerates her facial expression to fake enthusiasm, right? So, what about their posture in the first video? I'm gonna go ahead and call on Oscar Perez. What did you notice about the posture from the Big Bang Theory video? The first one.
You're muted, Oscar.
Yeah, her posture wasn't very interested at the beginning, and then she had to kind of fake it a little bit in order to get what she wanted.
Yeah, the female body posture looking a bit down. What about the male?
He was very energetic for sure, because he was really enthused about the new system that was coming out.
Yep, more alert, right?
Yep.
What about the body image? Nathan Wittersby. Is that you say your name? Wittersby?
Weathersby. Yeah. What was the question?
Got it.
I get it.
What about the body image of the first video for the female and the male character?
The male was like very excited about what the Xbox and the PlayStation, and the female was very annoyed by him.
Right.
All right.
Can you tell me about the voice tone and volume, Nathan?
The voice tone, the male voice was like.
What about the voice tone and volume?
The male voice was like very high pitched, very energetic, and the female was very annoyed. Basically, give me the butter and shut up about what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, very interested. Kind of seeing a pattern here.
Right.
So, I'll do one more for the first video. Dallas. What about was the listener in the first video, was they attentive and engaged?
Yes, yeah, very engaged in the conversation, talking about video game systems, like a lot of tech guys are. Xbox, PS1, PS2, PS3, comparing systems, and yeah, when someone talks like that, they are very interested in the subject matter, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
But she was all talking until most definitely. But she was all talking when she asked for the butter, but when he got more into it, when the male character noted that she's not very attentive, character asked her to be attentive again, you start getting hyped up,
Right, exactly. Use a lot of good body language. Yeah, that's when you know someone's excited about talking about something, when they really get amped up about the subject matter. So, yes.
Right.
Definitely.
Right. So we're definitely seeing a pattern, right?
Yes.
What about the second video? I'm gonna go ahead and call on let's see. Jeremy. What were these facial expressions in the second video, the customer service call?
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What would be facial expressions in the second video, the customer service call?
Oh, I mean, they seem lightly excited and interested, you know, like, because I mean, she is just talking on the phone, so she wasn't, you know, like really, like lit up, but she was paying attention and seemed attentive, pretty much.
Any smiles?
Yeah, she smiled a little bit here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That was definitely. Let's see.
It was very friendly too.
Yeah, very friendly.
Yeah.
She sounds very professional too.
Yeah, very professional. So we're gonna go ahead and just go through it. Very attentive to customer concerns. Sits tall, smiles. Voice tone is volume is very positive, empathetic. Customer voice is calm. Representing listen to the needs of the customer and is engaged in resolving their issues. Right. So a pretty big dynamic change, right? Right? Yeah, no. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they're exactly the same.
No, it was definitely, yeah, change.
All right, yeah, most definitely. So you definitely can see the change, right? All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Guess what? We have another activity. Isn't that so nice? All right, so
You're not
what
sharing
I'm
your
doing
screen.
again. I'm gonna do.
Oh, you're gonna put them in rooms?
Yeah, so they're gonna be in rooms.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
It was right when I did it too.
Yeah, that was fun. So you're gonna go into the next part of your handout. You know, it'd probably be better if I do put this on screen, because these actually have directions. Gonna put on screen for the time being until y'all go into the rooms anyway. All right. That's nice. So what's gonna happen now is y'all gonna be moved into rooms. It's gonna be groups of 3 instead of 4, or try to be as closest to 3 as to 4. It's gonna be close to 3. Some of y'all may have 4 just because of the amount of people here, right? You're gonna go on to part 3 of your handout, which is role plays. You're gonna self-select the roles in your group. One is gonna be the client, which is gonna interact with the junior. One is gonna be junior class practitioner, and one is gonna be the observer. The client and the junior class practitioner will be interacting with each other, applying the following verbal and nonverbal skills based on the checklist. The observer will use the checklist to record and provide feedback, including recommendations for improvement. You're gonna go over the scenario. You're gonna read the scenario 1, then you're gonna perform it, provide feedback, then you're gonna switch, repeat for scenario 2, then switch roles again, and repeat for scenario 3. No, yeah, but we have time, so that's what we're gonna do in a minute. We can go ahead and take let's take a 10-minute break. We have time for it. We've been going in constantly.
Thank you, Chad.
Let's go have welcome. Let's go ahead and have a 10-minute break. I'll see y'all at 8:02 Central. Gonna go into groups. One person is going to be client, one person is going to be junior cloud practitioner, and the third person is going to be observer. You're going to be switching roles after each scenario. So, you're going to read scenario one. You're going to provide feedback. You're going to switch roles and repeat for scenario two, and then switch roles again, repeat for scenario three. And all of this should take around 20 minutes. 20 minutes or less. It's fine. It was somebody's mic. So, does anyone have any questions about what we're about to do? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make that the breakout room. Some of y'all may have 3 people, some of y'all may have 4. So there may be 2 observers. Okay, never mind. Let me share my screen again. Quick. All right, now that we're back, how can you become aware of your own communication and improve it? Anyone, any volunteers?
I can say something about this. I have a question. When somebody is calling and tell name, what I can do practice the remembering name of the caller?
I'm sorry?
You write it down or type it somewhere.
Okay.
How can
I'm
you
sorry, I didn't
remember
hear
the
your question.
person's name or how to pronounce their name? I'm not sure if I understood the question.
When somebody is calling, they say name at the beginning of the call. And when I need to go and check in database, I need to type the name. And I don't remember if I don't have it written somewhere or I can misspell it. Just
Oh yeah, there's no problem asking the user. So even if you forgot the user's name, you could always say, I do apologize. How do I spell your first name? I've always gotten away when I started off in the help desk. Usually you ask for an ID in these Fortune 500 companies, or a lot of these companies, you don't need the actual name. You'll just need an ID. But if you are asking for a name, then and you can't remember who you were speaking to, the best thing usually is, hey, I asked them that straight out. I'm sorry, how do you spell your first name? The best one that's ever gotten me in trouble was Tom. Like, I'm sorry, how you spell your name? Is like Tom? Yeah, is it Thomas or is it Tom? I was like, I was like coming up with something I couldn't think of, but I mean, at least
to be fair, you don't know. To be fair, you really don't know. It could be either or. Some people might go by nicknames, and companies need full name. So it is what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can write it. Yeah, write it down. Simply ask. Most definitely. So do we have any volunteers for the first?
Repeat. It'd be like a repeat, like, oh, so what's your last name, Tom? And they're like, oh, no, not Tom, Thomas, and they'll correct themselves.
Right. Most definitely. So do we have any volunteers for the first question? How can you become aware of your own communication and improve it?
Peer feedback is always good.
I was going to say the same thing, is asking for feedback.
Practicing your communication in front of a mirror, whether it's like an elevator pitch, whatever it may be, doing it in front of a mirror, you can like see your body language in correlation to what you're trying to express?
Yeah, most definitely. It's like sorry, I heard like half of what like two other people said. It was like, I'm not sure what it was, but you broke up. I didn't understand the word. Last person who said that, I understood you. So yeah, communicate with yourself, practicing, talk to yourself in the mirror, most definitely. Okay.
A giveaway for those that I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chad. Some people, even though they practice and everything's fine in front of the mirror or with people that they're used to being around with, one good dead giveaway, if you'll notice, people will start asking to repeat or they'll ask for rephrase when you're not clearly communicating things. It may be just a one-time event, but just pay attention if throughout your communication with certain people, maybe your management team, for instance, because a lot of people get confused how to talk to management versus to users versus to your peers. There's three different languages or different ways that you need to speak. When you're talking to the actual customer, we need to keep it as simple as possible, no jargon or techie words or anything that they can really not understand. When you're talking to your peers, you can speak the same terms and terminologies that we're all used to. You can use whatever jargon we're used to, obviously. When you're talking to management, impact is all they're looking for. If you're going to be escalating anything to management, he can care less of all the details of what you went through. All he needs to know is what's the roadblock, what's the impact, what can he do to help you? Because doing your job, that he's not going to do, or she. Back to our previous program.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you, David. Someone had their hand raised. I think it was Jace.
Yeah, I put it down. Yeah, geez. Diego kind of said what I was gonna say. It's just being like self-aware, right? If you are continually getting bad responses from customers, your communication is probably not the best. So you should start adjusting it and being aware to like when you get better responses from customers or they're able to really repeat back to you what you said in their own way, then you know that you guys are communicating successfully or effectively.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. What is one goal that you have for yourself in terms of communication that you can start practicing right away at generation? Do I volunteer for that one?
I can go. So one goal I have for myself. Well, actually, there's two specific ones. The first goal is to minimize pauses, like ums, likes, and I just want to make sure my communication is clear, my verbal communication, and also just practicing not to interrupt people when they're like mid-thought, because it can kind of be hard because sometimes you don't know if someone's really stopping or they're just pausing to collect themselves. So those are my two goals.
Right, most definitely. Yeah, like right there. Yeah, I'll kind of interrupt you at the end. Most definitely. Good. Helena, you have your hand up?
Yes. Okay, so my goal is it's a couple, they're a couple. Number one, I wanted to be active listener. By listening, you can address your client's problem, you can resolve it. And number two, feedback, like asking a feedback from peers or from people or friends. Communication is not only your workplace, even how to communicate with your friends, with your families, that count too, because you taking something to your workplaces from your home. It starts from your base home, then it will grow. And the other thing, I would like, as Diego mentioned, that we should know that who we communicate, like the management level and the peers, and also the client communication is different. So yeah, that's all what I want to improve.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh, thank you. So this is the end of the presentation. I thank y'all for participating and being attentive throughout the whole thing. I appreciate it. Now, we're going to